Would you like to keep a six-pack year-round? Because if the answer is yes, in this episode, I'm going to take you through exactly what it takes to keep abs, more importantly, stay lean year-round. I'm going to squash bullshit myths, but more importantly, tell you the exact 10 rituals that have allowed me to live with abs and stay lean for the last 22 years. And just a little heads up, not one of the tips is going to involve sit-ups. I wish someone would have told me that many, many years ago. All right. But there's so much bullshit out there with how to stay lean, keep abs, be ripped. But I'm someone who's lived and breathed it for the last 22 years. So in this Kirk Miller Podcast episode, I'm going to share with you all the things I do. And some will be to do with food, of course, some will be to do with movement. But one thing I'd love you to take away from this is my mindset and just my overall approach, really, which has allowed me to be, in my opinion, one of the most consistent people on the planet when it comes to staying in shape year round, year to year. 38 now, but there are certain fundamental principles that have kept me looking a certain way as the years have progressed. So I just want to remove a couple of myths first before I go into my 10 rituals. As I've just mentioned, sit-ups. A lot of clients say to me all the time, how many crunches, how many sit-ups, how many times should I train my abs per week? You can do as many sit-ups as you want on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. You're never going to see them if your body fat isn't low enough. The reality is, in terms of actually visually seeing your abs, you need to be in a calorie deficit and you need to drop body fat. You can have the strongest set of abs beneath the surface as your stomach, but if you've got body fat over the top of them, you're never going to see them. So ignore anything you ever hear about training abs 2 times a week, 3 times a week, especially if you're like me and a lot of my clients where you're a business owner and time is precious. The last thing you want to be doing is wasting your time doing what I used to do in my early 20s, which was 2 to 3 hours of abs per week, thinking that's what I needed to do to see them. Abs in particular was always one of those things growing up that I always wanted. Ever since I saw my first Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, for those the older people watching this, I was just fascinated going, this guy, he's good looking, he's in all these great movies, he gets all the women, but he had a great body, all right? And I was always fascinated by, a great physique, and in particular, just being lean. And I've never been one of those guys, just like a lot of clients who come to me where, I had an unwavering desire to bulk and be massive. Yes, of course, you want to be strong, but for me, a great physique is athletic, somebody who can move, somebody who's fit. And if you've got a six-pack alongside that, then fantastic. Okay? But yeah, sit-ups, don't get too consumed by them. First of all, focus on a few other fundamental things first, which I'm going to go through now. So I'm going to go through my 10 rituals that I do daily / weekly, because for me, the better your rituals, the better your habits, that naturally takes care of progress, okay? Number 1, this might be slightly controversial. I know some people look on this as a bit of a negative, but for me, weighing myself every single morning has played a massive role in maintaining discipline with my condition, like year round, every single year. I don't look at the scales as a negative. It's just a number, because the reality is, even if you've got abs and you are lean year round, your weight's going to fluctuate anyway for so many different reasons, which I'll probably talk about in a future episode. But the reason I weigh myself every single morning is it allows me to maintain a level of discipline with like my eating habits and my training. So for example, I have a weight range, which at the minute, I'm happy if my body weight is anywhere between 78 kg and 82 sort of top end, because that's how much your body weight can fluctuate on a like daily basis, believe it or not. Especially if you've had a big meal at the weekend, which I love to do, even though I'm talking about abs and staying in shape year round. One of the things that's built my name and why people invest in me, I'm one of the guys that has been ripped year round, but I also enjoy a social life. I have the Kirky specials every weekend, so I like to eat out once or twice a week at least. I like a drink from time to time, but never to the detriment of how I want to feel and the condition I want to walk around with. And being aware of my weight variation has played a big part of that. So if I ever jump on a scale and I feel like I'm above 82, or I am above 82, that tells me that I've probably indulged a little bit too much, especially on a weekend. I probably took the piss a little bit with my food, drank too much, maybe not moved as much perhaps the previous week. And that's like my cue to then sort of refocus and maybe alter my calories a little bit for the few days after that. And if you are someone who is desperate to get fat off and keep it off, I do advise that the more you can weigh yourself, whether it's 3 times a week and then take your average, or every day, just get used to doing that, because then you'll notice how your body weight can fluctuate. And also, by having a top end weight that you're not happy with, it will stop you like being off it longer than what you want to. Because for me, a lot of the time, people maybe get in shape, then fall out of shape and give themselves a mountain to climb, is because they've let the boundary go too far with their body fat and body weight. Now, you might be watching this and thinking, God, I'm nowhere near my ideal body weight yet. Well, in that case, then, I'd still weigh yourself, and you do need an average weight to sort of be aware of, alongside your habits, of course. But ideally, you want to get to a fighting weight at some point, which you're happy with. My bottom end weight is sort of 78. If I'm lower than that at the minute, that tells me I'm probably overtraining, maybe gone a bit too low on my calories. But if I stay within that weight range, and it is a 4 kg weight range, which is best part of 10 pounds, it just allows me to stay in shape. I know if I'm within that weight range, I'm always going to maintain like really lean abs. And as a byproduct, I'm going to feel better and generally optimize my energy and live with more energy. Because I definitely think that if you're watching this and you're being really honest with yourself, whenever you've maybe felt a little bit heavier, that would have also affected your energy and probably your confidence. So even though I spoke about weighing myself every morning, I'm not doing this necessarily for the number on the scale. This is more of just a small metric, which is allowing me to, yes, of course, look at the number, but by staying within that weight range, I'm also going to protect my energy and protect my confidence at the same time. So weigh yourself every morning if you're currently not doing that. Don't get stressed if it goes up. Don't get too excited if it goes down too quickly. Just look at your averages all the time. But you're more likely to stay more disciplined, in my opinion, with your eating if you're more conscious of your body weight. Number 2, win the morning. Study anyone successful. They'll generally have a powerful morning routine. And you might think, get to the point, why aren't we talking about food here? But generally, we choose our routine. We choose the way we plan our day. They take care of the actions, habits and behavior after that. So if you feel at the minute that you're nowhere near the body fat that you want to walk around with, you're nowhere near the body that you actually want to live with, that'll be down to your routine. And for me, there's no more powerful way to kick off your day than a powerful morning routine. So as I say to my clients, what is the one thing in the morning that looks after your mind, body, or both, that sets you up to win? What is the ritual that you know if you do that guarantees success? What is the ritual that you know if you do that first thing in the morning is either doing something positive for your energy expenditure or is creating discipline with your energy consumption in the form of food? So win the morning. If you're reactive in the morning, you're focusing on someone else's agenda, whether it's social media, whether it's WhatsApps, whether it's emails, whether it's TV, then you're more likely to be in a reactive state with your eat decisions after that. So if you want to control your food, control your routine, win your morning, and I guarantee you'll eat better, you'll train better, you'll probably move more and just generally have a better day. Number 3, you can't have a lean body, abs, if you're not training hard. So for me, number 3 is training hard every session, every week, year round. I'm never off it. And I don't want to force my way on anyone, but generally what I've found when a client gets stuck or someone comes to me not very happy, it's because they've been off it. I think it's one of the most common terms in the world of anyone trying to improve their health and fitness. Oh, I'm off it. I need to get back on it. You want to get to a place, and this is what we help our clients do, where you operate with a never off it mentality. You're always on it. You don't need to be perfect, but you're always consistent. You're always consistently winning, however small. Even if you're having maintenance weeks, maintenance months, you're never off it. And I operate with ruthless consistency. And that rubs off, of course, on all the people that invest in me. But I train hard every session, every week, year round. Sometimes it might be shorter sessions. Sometimes it might be adapted sessions, maybe at Christmas, for example. But every single time I train with intent. I train with purpose. Because you're going to have the best diet in the world. You can manage your calories perfectly. But the food doesn't lift the weight. I often hear this principle of, it's 80% food, 20% training. I think it's absolute bullshit. Because if we gave 1,000 people the same meal plan, 1,000 people were doing the same steps, the people out of those thousands that are training hard and training with purpose, training with intent, during their sessions, whether it's 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whatever it is going to change quicker, and you're going to be leaner, you're going to be stronger, you're just going to maintain, more of an optimal body condition. Number 4, this is something that I was absolutely horrendous with for so many years, and that's sleep. I now sleep 7 hours, give or take, without negotiation year round. It took a bicep rupture for me to truly respect sleep. When I was having to try and make a charity boxing fight after tearing my bicep off the bone 7 weeks before a fight, the thing that I realized when I researched how can I remotely try and make a fight when I've ruptured my bicep 7 weeks before a fight was the better I slept, the more my body would recover. And it really is one of the most undervalued, like we call them core drivers, in respect of helping you look the way you want to. Because if you sleep better, you'll generally eat better, you'll train harder, you'll want to move a little bit more. And of course, if you're a business owner or value your career, you're going to be sharper in business also. So sleep 7 hours for me, that has made a massive game changer with my enjoyment for training, as well as the intent, of course, that I train with, and takes care of your eating habits. Number 5, eat high quality food 90% of your week, or of my week, year round. So I eat high quality food 90% every week, year round. I really think that the better quality your food, the easier it is to develop a lower body fat, see your abs. If you were to probably look at the majority of physiques on the planet who walk around with abs consistently, I can guarantee their food quality is fantastic, because the more foods you're eating with added sugar, the more processed food you're eating where you've got hundreds of ingredients on the back of the packet, you're going to make it very, very hard for yourself to maintain a low body fat. And one of the things, of course, if you are trying to see abs and stay in consistent shape year round, is creating a calorie deficit. So one of the things you need to do, of course, is eat more food volume per calorie, and eating real food is going to do that. So for me, that's like my number one value with food, even before actually tracking calories, because there's a lot of bullshit out there in relation to food, Weight Watchers, if it fits your macros. I'm not saying that they're all complete bullshit, but for me, it gives a short-term result. If you've got a diet that's generally got a label on it, I'd love to see the results of the majority of these diets. You know, they don't last. You might see a result 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, but you focus on real food, high quality food, and just notice how much more energy you have, how much better you feel. Then you can fine tune calorie quantity a lot easier from there. But get used to nourishing yourself with real food year round. Don't just pick and choose the weeks, the months that you decide to eat high quality food, because the weeks that you decide to be off it with your food quality, or your food quality is maybe 50, 60, 70% decent and the rest shitty, then you will notice a direct correlation in how you look and the body fat you carry. Number 6, this is more to do with planning, and this is something I've got a lot better at over the years, and it's something we really try and install in clients all the time. I plan my week with great attention to detail. A lot of people that come to us are phenomenal at planning in business tasks, at planning in social events, planning in time with their family, but they're shit at actually scheduling time to train. They're shit at scheduling what to eat, when they're going to eat, when they're going to order healthy food, whether you meal prep, whether you order food in. Planning your week will help you make better choices even when you don't want to. The more organized you are, the better your habits will be. So try and plan your week with great attention to detail if you're not consistent with your food. Otherwise, you're going to be influenced by the emotion at any given moment of the day in relation to your eating decisions. Whereas if you can plan, then even if you are tempted to eat shit, if you've pre-planned and forward thought in advance, then you're more likely to make a better decision. So plan your week in great attention to detail. When you're going to train, when you're going to eat, what you're going to eat, who you're going to eat with, and especially at social occasions at the weekend, which lets most people down in relation to their achieving their dream body fat and body condition. Forward plan your weekends also. Number 7, this is more of a mindset thing. I keep my promises to myself. Of course, I'm not always perfect, but in relation to looking a certain way and having six-pack and being consistent, I keep my promises to myself. Nothing builds confidence more with your body, with your health, with your energy, than actually following through on what you said you would do. On the flip side, nothing drains confidence more than saying you're going to do something and not following through on it. So if you say you're going to train 3 times a week, train 3 times a week. If you say you're going to track your food every day for 7 days, every week, do it. If you say, you're going to eat healthy for 5 days a week and have a little bit of indulgence, couple of meals a week, follow through on it. And just notice how good you feel when you keep your promises to yourself. That's what builds confidence in anything. If you were to relate this, like I do so frequently in these episodes, if you were to relate this to an area of your life where you feel so confident that you don't even have to think about it, it's because you keep your promises to yourself. You followed through that many times that it becomes hardwired into a part of your identity. So if you are trying to build that consistent lean body, make sure you're managing your expectations all the time. Like, this is what I want, this is what I said I'm going to do, and I'm going to follow through and do that. Okay? Number 8, never get complacent or lazy. Unfortunately, if you want six-pack year-round, a great body year-round, you can't get complacent with it. You can't get lazy with it, because unfortunately we can't delegate someone to train for us. We can't delegate someone to move for us. We can't delegate someone else eating going to bed for us. These are things we need to take responsibility. So we can't get complacent with it, because you may have found in the past that you would have saw a result after 12 weeks, 6 months, even a year. Unfortunately, even though you'll hit milestones along the way throughout your year in relation to your health and fitness, your body doesn't stand still. If you've eaten certain foods, trained a certain way, looked after your sleep, drank your water, whatever it may be that's built a great body, you start letting those standards slip in those given areas, that body condition, that dream identity of yourself that you've built will slowly but surely fall backwards if you get complacent or lazy or you let standards slip. You don't need to be perfect. Like my clients, we do relax with food, we do relax with alcohol here and there, but we always have a certain standard and non-negotiables that we don't want to drop below. Okay? Number 9. Again, this is just more of a, even though obviously this training is about ritual, this is more of a mindset approach, but has been a heartbeat, again, why I've been able to keep abs now for so many years. And that is, have fun socially, but never at the expense of how I want to look physically or feel emotionally. So I, like you, love having a big feed or 2 at the weekend. Every now and then I love a beer or 10, although I don't do it frequently anymore. But I love socializing. Who doesn't these days? But if it's compromising how you want to look physically week to week, and it's making you feel like shit emotionally for 2, 3, 4 days, and you're only feeling good about yourself maybe on the Wednesday after you've been back on it, then I challenge the fact I challenge the fact of what you've actually done socially. If you feel like each weekend you're overindulging, you're overeating, you're overdrinking excessively, I question what's actually missing during your week in order for you to want to overdo it at the weekends. You can still have fun, still eat good food, have your drinks, whatever your thing is, without feeling like a sack of shit for a few days. I'm yet to coach anyone who, like, given the choice, wants to feel like shit for 3-4 days just to have a good blowout on a Saturday and a Sunday. So by all means have fun, but do it with control. So this is what we do obviously inside the coaching program as well, is you want to be enjoying your burger, your chips, your drinks, whatever it is, and do these things on the basis of you've controlled the decision to do so, and you've planned to do so. It's not a reactive thing where you might be overindulging with food or booze, but because you're on autopilot, you're not actually even enjoying it as much as you could do. Because if you have discipline with your training, with your movement, with your food, with your sleep, etc., around these social things, you'll enjoy them more anyway, when you don't do them quite as frequently. But when you're doing it too much and over-consuming too much, then it gets a bit boring over time. And then number 10, and again, this is more mindset again, and I'll probably say this most episodes, it might seem like a broken record, but this is my bag. I'm world class at this, and I've transformed so many people. Continually draw back on your why. So one of your rituals, whether it's daily, weekly, I suggest do this daily if you aren't consistent yet, or you've never been able to keep abs. Remind yourself every single day why you do what you do. So what I've put here for number 10, and I'll give you an example of mine. Write a big statement that describes your dream you with the words I am and who you want to become, why it's important and how it helps you contribute. Okay, so that's a bit long-winded, but just hear me out on this. One of the things that's kept me so ruthlessly consistent is always relating me being lean, strong, confident, energized to my higher purpose. It helps keep my standards high. Basically, if people are investing in me to build them a world-class body, getting great physical, mental shape, I need to keep my standards high. I need to stay consistent. What helps me do that is reminding myself every single day of who I am and why it's important that, I operate with such high standards. Okay, because if I lower my standards, the people who are investing in me are going to lower their standards. And you would probably be doing this without realizing it in your business. You would have a strong why, whether you write it down or not. You'd know in your heart, deep down, who it's helping you become, and also how it's helping you contribute more to your family, your team, whatever it may be. Okay, so an example of mine in terms of a statement. This is exactly what I write and or say every morning. I'm a world-class leader, speaker, and high-performance coach that helps global business leaders get in the best physical and mental shape of their lives and unleash from within confidence they never thought possible. By being ruthlessly consistent and operating with high energy and standards, I'll be a phenomenal success in business. I'll change the lives of millions of people all around the world, and I'll be able to provide freedom for my family. By writing that every single day, you might think, what has that got to do with eating better, being lean, walking around with abs? Now, if I know that I'm trying to help change lives, I'm trying to provide for my family, what I need in order to do that is a healthy body. I need an energized body. I need to be lean. I need to be able to move around. I need to squeeze as much out of my day as possible. I need to be in the best mood possible, as much as possible. Writing that statement keeps my standards high subconsciously and consciously. So if you have found that, you're sloppy with your food, you've got erratic eating habits, you're very inconsistent with your training, or maybe not as consistent as what you could be, then writing a powerful statement like that, or even speaking a powerful statement like that, is going to remind you why you do what you do and why it's important to be healthy. Because we can't truly be the best business person, we can't truly be the best family role model, etc., if we're not looking after ourselves. if you're looking after your family and you've got a great business, for example, without being lean, without being consistent, then imagine where you would be if you were a little bit more consistent, or maybe you did carry a little bit less body fat. Maybe you did actually see your abs and have a bit more energy. Imagine what that would mean. So they're my 10 things. And what's important is to listen to like what stands out, what stood out when I was going through those 10 things. But as always with these podcasts, I want to leave you with three questions to finish. Number one, what current daily ritual or habit is your biggest roadblock to seeing your abs? So what habit or ritual is slowing you down in your pursuit of a leaner body, in pursuit of seeing your six-pack, however you like to label it? What habit or ritual is getting in the way? Number two, which 3 of my rituals, if you focused on consistently, would guarantee progress? So I think it's common knowledge now. I think every single client who's ever invested in me, the number one problem with a lot of people is food. I'm really good, but it's just my food. Most people know they need to eat healthy, but they don't do it. So even though I've gone through my rituals today, only one of them really I mentioned food. But there are other things that influence eating healthy food, such as your AM routine, such as planning. Even the mindset stuff makes me think and want to eat healthier food, even if I don't necessarily want to do it that day. So just to have a little deeper think and go, if I'm consistently falling off the wagon with diet plans, or I can't stay consistent with my food, or I'm just not consistent in general with my training, what 3 of my rituals might help with that, might improve your discipline with your eating, for example? And then the third question, what action will you take in the next 24 hours to make sure you do them? Because one of the things, and I'm like this with my clients, I know this is very straight talking, it's okay listening to me share tips, share what I do, share what I know to be true in terms of helping clients get lean, stay lean, all that sort of stuff. And it's okay me sharing my principles, but nothing's going to change until you actually do. So out of those 3 rituals that you think, you know what, I'm not doing them, and I know if I did, then I'd be a bit healthier and I'd eat a bit better, and I might, see a leaner body, see my six-pack. What action are you actually going to take in the next 24 hours to make sure you do them? Because one of the things that really helps break the pattern of poor habits and develops, a better mindset is actually taking action. So my challenge to you is leave this podcast and do something the next 24 hours that's going to make sure you follow through and do, even if it's just one of my rituals, what is the one thing that you can start creating momentum with? That if you did it, it would instantly start the process of helping you feel better, all right, and control your decisions better. And then lastly, I want to finish with a quote. I suppose I've just sort of echoed this in a different term. You are what you do, not what you say you will do. There's so much information out there. There's so many training plans, there's so many diet plans, all that sort of stuff. But deep down, if you don't do what you said you were going to do, nothing's going to change. You can have the best training plan, the best diet plan on paper, but unless you actually follow through and implement, it's irrelevant. So my challenge to you is do what you said you would do. All right? You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Okay? So hopefully a few of them were a little bit different to what you thought, but focus on the ones that matter most. Okay? But these are the things that I know that work. Look after your mind, look after your training, look after your food, and basically set you up to win every week, month to month, year round. Because ultimately, the intention with the podcast is to help you get in the best physical, mental shape of your life, but more importantly, raise standards, increase awareness. And hopefully those 10 tips today would certainly help you do that. So thank you so much again for listening. Please share with anyone who you feel might take value from this, and I'll see you next time.